dear ones. I only have a short time with you today, so I would like to share a real talk and a reading. This reading is brought to you by the Dark Mirror Oracle. Right? Spirit even had me shoot this video in black and white. There's a fly that I've done everything in my power to leave, and normally they're very kind when I ask them to leave, and they leave. So the fly came in and said, "Oh no, I have some spirit medicine for you today." And I said, "Okay." I'm feeling a little quiet, a little more reserved. Even my hair, from the heat, 3 days of triple-digit heat just took so much out of us physically, mentally, emotionally by the last day at 111 degrees, even though I love that number. Jewel said that too. She said, "Oh my gosh." She texted me and she was like, "Are you okay? I hear you having a heat wave over there." And I was like, "Yes." And then I told her 111. She's like, "Well, that's horrible, but I do love that number." I'm like, "Right?" But it was kind of transformative though. And there's been so much that's been going on. So my poor hair, between that and the humidity, was just, so it's under oil protection program. I've got so much coconut oil in my hair right now. Anyway, I digress. So I've been talking to so many of you. You've reached out to me through all different forms of communication and have expressed certain agitations, mostly, that you're experiencing. By the way, there's a little creature out here. I don't know if it's a bird or something, but it's been kind of hopping around and moving around in the bushes, so that's what it is. It could be Baba. It actually could be Baba. But there has just been so much commonality in the tribe, and when that happens, I feel like that's when I am meant to address it. So through the Dark Mirror Oracle cards, Spirit wants to give us some messages, and I barely started shuffling and this card came out, and it's called Masquerade. And I know it's in black and white, so it's a little harder to see. Although I'm shooting this in black and white, I don't know what they're going to have me upload it as. But look at how sad that person is. I mean, when I think of Masquerade, I think of Masquerade Party, and I think of a really fun, cool, exciting adventure, something fun, something, glamorous. But this is not. This is somebody who is like, "I am tired." Oh, did you see that? I swear to you, the crazy thing is not only did I shuffle them or whatever, and I've used these quite a lot since I've gotten them. Almost every person who's gotten a reading from me since I got them in the last, few months or whatever, has this deck has come out in one capacity or another. But I even picked it up and had it sitting like up on the ledge here. And so I didn't even notice there was a second card until that. But look at this. This is one that had gotten some wax on it. And so look at that death card. I actually asked Spirit to speak to us through the wind chimes right before we started this, because that wouldn't stop. And I was like, "Stop it, little one." But also there's a tarp right there. So I think part of it is the tarp. Anyway, this is number 1, the triumph of lies. And this one is 15, Masquerade. So I find it interesting that here is exactly what everyone's feeling right now, right? The triumph of lies. I was telling a fellow tribe member today, I said, I can barely even go into a grocery store, let alone be around friends and family that are still in this belief system of the 3D patriarchal energy, this very controlling, very dominating, exasperating energy that no longer serves us or the energy on the planet. The planet is not the same. The energy is not the same. However, if people are not awake, they are not awake, and there's nothing you can do about it. But if you continue to put yourself in situations, you are going to walk on a landmine. It is going to happen. Something will explode in your face, because eventually you will have had enough and you will blow up. And I can tell you from personal experience, the last time I was around my family, that we do not think the same. And I'm telling you, like, I used to be the person that would say, you know, if somebody said something that I disagreed with, or my family was being really racist, prejudiced, whatever, bigotry that was going on at the time, you know, I'd be like, hey, like, knock it off or whatever. Then I got to this place where I was just like, ugh, and just like, you know, rolling my eyes, because the truth is, it wasn't going to change. No matter what I said, wasn't going to change what they thought or whatever. I'd gone down that road several times, you know. If you see me going like this, it's just because it's the oil. It's there, but like my hair keeps like kind of like, you know, when it starts falling back. And the last time I was there was when I realized that I wasn't going to be okay with that. And so when one of my family members used a really ugly word that was a very racist term about his child's significant other, I said, would you say that if they were here right now? And he's like, no. And I go, then why are you saying it at all? I'm like, they could get married and have children. And how would you feel about that? Like, what if your grandchild heard you say that word? I'm like, you need to start thinking like that. And that's when I realized, I was like, I'm not going to continually do this. And I started to feel like a lot of my friends and family, it was either that or it was just the way people, you know, would say things, or just the terminologies that they would use, or they're like, I'm super spiritual. And I'm like, whoa, you think you're spiritual, but you're not acting spiritual. You know, it's like the Christians, or any religion really, but just in my own experience growing up Christian, you know, who speak one, you know, word, but they're, you know, participating in a completely different truth of their own, you know, whatever they believe, right? They're, as my aunt used to say, the cafeteria Christians, you know, picking and choosing what they want to, you know, as long as it aligns with their bigotry, their hate, you know, their discontinuance of humanity, this like breakdown of our senses, of our psyche, of our soul. And so after today, I was messaging with a fellow light worker, and we were going to try and talk today or tomorrow. And I was like, hey, you know, are you up for today? You know, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, no, I'm just like feeling, you know, X, Y, and Z. And they had told me a few days ago that they're going to see their family for the first time in like a year. And I said, and it was interesting because right away I was like, that's exactly what I got. I was like, well, of course, because it's getting closer to when they're going to go there. And they really don't want to go. And so they're feeling anxiety. They're feeling sick. They're feeling frazzled. They're feeling unsettled, right? Because they don't want to go. And that's what I finally said was, I'm like, you feel this way because you don't want to go. Stop doing things you do not want to do. Even if you're not ready to break up with your friends, family, coworkers, or whatever, you have the right to say, I'm not ready for that right now. With everything that's been going on, most people understand that this whole entire pandemic created a major, massive wave of PTSD, which is postpartum. Ooh, interesting. Freudian slip. I don't know. Are you having postpartum, somebody? We've had quite a few people in our tribe who've had babies in the last few years. So, you know, check in with that, right? But no, it's post-traumatic stress disorder. And because all of us are going through things differently, you know, it's not just about the money. It's about emotions. It's about our mental health. I actually stumbled upon this video with Lady Gaga from, I forget what it was for, but it was from some charity thing where she sang like 3 songs and she spoke during her singing. And I was like, I love her. I'm like, she's so good. She's so good the way she was like speaking her truth. She had this platform where the whole world was watching, and she had 4 presidents right in front of her. I think there was 4, might have been 5. Right? And just like, she's like, I'm going to take this moment. But she was very, 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 very cautious. You can tell. She spoke her truth, but at the same time, she was like, I don't want to be preachy. I want people to hear me without shoving it down their throat. So there's a way for you to get people to hear you without shoving things down their throat. So if you feel like it is your job to be that person in your family, to go to bat for everybody, to be the knight, to whatever, that's fine. But just make sure that you're aligning with your purpose first. Because sometimes, especially as empaths, we just want to fix the situation. We just want the energy to feel good again. We don't want to, concern ourselves with what's happening around, everybody else's stuff. But that's the thing. You can't control it. You never could. We're not meant to control each other. The only thing we can do is control ourselves. And if you haven't watched my last Real Talk, I highly recommend you do, even if you just watched the last 20 minutes of it, because we are at that point where spirit is like, we are absolutely 100% responsible for our own happiness. But if we are continuing this facade, this charade, whatever, however way you want to pronounce it, right? We may look beautiful and cool on the outside, but on the inside, this is how we're going to feel. Like we don't matter. We had this show, the library lets you rent things for 3 weeks at a time. And we had this show called Love, Lies, and Records or something. And it's a British show. And I can't believe they didn't do more than one season, because I thought it was actually really brilliant. And I thought, wow, they can really go in a lot of directions with this. But it was, I don't know how many years ago, in the last 5 years, I think. But it was really profound to watch one of the characters go from starting out as a man, James, and then he is transforming into a woman, Jamie, and how the wife isn't taking it very well and says you cannot see the children unless you're wearing men's clothes. And so it's just a really beautiful story. And then finally, they cut off their hair and go back to living as a man, because they're like, my children are worth, once they're grown, which, they're both, I think, almost teenager. I think one's a teenager and one's 12 or something, but they're about to he, in his mind, he, she, they, because they did identify with all of it. They were like, it's not worth my outside right now with my children. They're going to be grown in a few years, and then I can do whatever I want. Their mother can't say anything once they're 18. But the cool thing is after they cut off their hair and all that and dressed like a man again, the sons came to them and said, we love you just the way you are. And we don't care what mom says. And we'll go to court and say that. We're old enough to speak for ourselves. And I've been having knee issues because of the humidity and the hot. And today is, as you can hear, there's no fan or air conditioning. It's I think 78 or 79, which it almost feels chilly after 111. But man, it's been messing with my my old gymnastics / cheerleading injuries. So it was just a beautiful metaphor of how we're not meant to masquerade ourselves. And if you're going to go into the lion's den with family, friends, work, or whatever relationship, then be prepared to have your armor on. And also be prepared to have the languaging that sits right for you. Don't bury it down. Don't push it aside. Speak your truth. And if they don't like it, tough titties, as they say, right? Be yourself. This isn't about them. This is about you. This is your personal journey, and you do not have to kowtail to anybody. You do not, I don't know what that really means, but I just know this terminology that I was, taught as a kid. This is really important, you guys. This is so, so important. In fact, the fly wants to remind me that the fly spirit animal came in to say, reevaluate your thoughts about yourself. You are worth far more than you realize. Love, the fly. Sometimes the fly is really good in their messengers. Sometimes they're being controlled by people who are, trying to spy or whatever. But you do have the power for that too, to say, you're not allowed here. You need to leave my home. And they will. Flies are actually really beautiful animals, and it's kind of sad that they get this bad rep, but they're about regeneration too. So, it's time to really evaluate who you are and what your purpose is, not your human identity, not your human outsides, not your human insides, your soul, what's inside, what's vibrating inside of you that's trying to come out. Is there a conversation that's happening around you, but you're not speaking your truth? Speak out. Speak out. This is your time to speak out. And I think it's interesting that, like I said, that they were stuck together like that. There it goes again. Because number one is the triumph of lies. I was actually gonna clean this off and spirit told me not to. See how this wax is like almost like, because wax is a mold, right? Like, but we have to like break out of the mold. You know, when the candle is going, it's going down, 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 down. But did you ever see like when a wick is kind of to the side, it'll have like it'll break down the candle, not down the center, but down the side, and it gets messy and it gets yucky and it gets rough. And it's not fun to clean up, right? Death is a part of rebirth. The part of you that needs to die has to go. You will continue on the same paths. And I'm going to keep talking about this shit. So if you don't want to listen, that's okay. Maybe you'll go away forever. Maybe you'll go away until you figure it out and come back. Maybe you're mad at me. Good. I'm glad you're mad at me, because you need to let go of that shit. If you're tired of hearing me say it, it's because your higher self is sending me messages to tell you to fucking change it. Because you didn't come here to play small. You are valued beyond belief. And if you are on this channel, if you subscribe to this channel, you are a light worker of some kind. Most of you are, most likely, a great deal of you are angels, all different types of angels. The time that's going on now when people are like, oh, this isn't happening or that's never happened before. Whenever you hear something like that, go, yeah, because there's always a first time for everything. And this is it. And I've said a gazillion times, this is not your mama's revelations, right? Like, this is a different kind of ending. We see how things are breaking down all over the world. I'm still like sitting with this whole thing with Lemuria, because like, I was like, you know, the Lemurians live in Mount Shasta. Thank you, Fly Spirit Medicine. And, I don't watch the news, but sometimes I'll go on and look for something else and there'll be like blurbs and I'll be like, la da. But when I saw that, I was like, what? And I said to Ed, I'm like, Mount Shasta is just blue. I'm like, what? And then I kind of just, I didn't read the whole article, but I just, and I don't know what's come up since. So please feel free to comment below. But there was a fire and there was like lightning hit Mount Shasta. And I'm like, holy shit. And so, you know, when people are like, I just want, you know, are we going to see stuff coming down from the sky? Or are we going to, I'm like, I don't know. But I was getting a vibe from spirit that it was going to be really magical, because how else are people going to really wake up unless they see the magic? I mean, most people who are religious live on faith, but they live on faith because they're optimists. They want to believe it. Spirit wants you to believe it. This is our Tinkerbell moment of, you know, the more you clap, Tinkerbell comes back to life, right? So it's like we are bringing ourselves back to life. We are re-energizing ourselves. So it doesn't surprise me that Mount Shasta was hit by lightning, you know, because that's part of Lemuria. That's really like so powerful to me. So, you know, I guess somebody could look at it as they're being smited, you know, if you're looking at it from that way, a religious point of view. But the angels tell me different. In fact, I was going to pull that all the way because Ed came in here. He's laying down right now. He did ayahuasca today and he's on his own journey. But then that light was there and I was like, no, it's like, that's what spirit wants us to see, that we are surrounded by light. That's why this isn't even in Technicolor, because right now everything kind of feels like the part of the Wizard of Oz that's in black and white. The dun 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 dun, you know, be scared, be scared, be scared, be scared, be scared, be scared. But wait, just wait, because it is all going to make sense soon, and everything is going to come up in Technicolor. So, with that being said, a song that was the theme for today was All Through the Night by Cyndi Lauper. It's one of my favorite albums. She's so unusual. In the 80s, I remember going to a dance and I wore my crinoline outside my leggings. I went to a homecoming dance and everybody else is in like cute, pretty dresses. And this is like 1986, I think, or 87. And I'm all like, you know, Cyndi Lauper and a big red crinoline and big hair and my, you know, cut off gloves. And I'd love for people to find pictures or video of me because I don't have any of that stuff. It's in my stuff at my mom's and I don't know if I'll ever go back there again because I don't know if it really matters. But anyway, she was, I was so attached to her and Stevie Nicks. I didn't realize at the time, and Whitney Houston. I just didn't realize like how magical they were and how witchy they were and angelic they were and still are, two of them. Whitney's still with us always. But another beautiful empathic angel that just let the world destroy her. And she did let it happen, because she did have the power to bring herself up. And she's saying that, like right now, she's channeling, saying that, like, not like she was weak or anything. It took a really strong woman to even stay alive as long as she did, especially with her gifts and everybody wanting a piece of her. Brittany, right? The whole Britney. I mean, my gosh, for the last year, I've told Ed, I'm like, I am really concerned about Britney Spears. I'm like, something's not right. I'm like, I have just been feeling it. I've been feeling it for a few years, but definitely in this last year, I was like, she's about to fucking, like, something's about to happen. I didn't think she'd kill herself or anything like that. Exactly what she did is kind of what I thought would happen. And so, yay, Britney. My Sag sister, totally fucking support you. I think what she's doing is incredible, and how people are all coming out of the woodwork with these essays. And Amber Tamblyn, I think is her name, and Christina Aguilera, and it's really interesting. That's why I've been going on the news, because I've been, I went to look for something else and I saw that Britney was going to be at court, and I was like, what? And then I listened to it, and I listened to it, and I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, that's exactly what I thought was happening to her. I'm like, I didn't know it was that bad. I knew it was bad. But I'm like, I think she's like Judy Garland, like where they're keeping her on drugs. And I'm like, it's true. I mean, it's just sick. I mean, they've been using her as a cash cow. She's not the only one. So much shit's going to come to the surface, you guys. So just hold on, hang in there, believe in yourself, be open to this rebirth. Whenever you watch this, it's timeless, but in real time, today is June 30th, 2021. It is the last day of June, right? So now we have been full 6 months, half a year, we have been into 2021. And 2021 comes out to the number 5. And 5 is all about change and hardship and going through rough times. But you know what the number 6 is? It's about peace and stability. It's about harmony being restored. It's about your hard work paying off for living in that 5 vibration. So yeah, we're going to have a little bit more hardship, right? But June, this number 6 is here to remind us that, in fact, what's today? 6, so 6/30/2021. So 6 and 3 is 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Oh, it's number 5. Holy shit. So it's a 5-day in a 6 energy. And I just posted a bunch of stuff. It's free on my Patreon channel. My Patreon channel is free to subscribe to. It's just, you have to pay for like certain, if you want to like watch the classes or the readings or the real talks there. But yeah, I just posted some really cute stuff there. And, Spirit just wants us to kind of look at the monkey, like, look at these animals, look at this cuteness, look at this awesomeness, like, stay in the good stuff. Free yourself from that dark energy that does not serve you. But you got to get through it to get through it, or you got to get through it to get to it. And one of the things my friend said today that I love about them, one of my favorite things about them is their optimism and their like joy. I love them for that. But it was interesting today because they were like, I'm going to, I told the kids, setting boundaries with them, whatever. And I'm going to go, focus on positive energy. And I was like, yeah, I'm like, or you can just work through it. I'm like, get mad, get angry, work through those emotions, feel those emotions, and then let them go. Because what's happening is a lot of us are harboring that energy. And when we harbor energy and we don't release it, what's that word? Festers. It festers and festers and festers. It'll come out somewhere. And I guarantee you, you may not say something to a family, but at some point you will explode or you will say something and shit will hit the fan, and it will be time for you to say, okay, I'm done. No more. Thank you. And it kind of doesn't mean you have to not talk to people forever. You can just be like, I don't want to talk to you right now. I had an amazing dream last night with my stepdad. And I don't know when his service was because he died January 18th when we were still in the lockdown. And that was the last day I talked to my mom, was the day that he died. And I told her that I was in a place where I was like not wanting to talk to the family right now, that I needed to work on my own stuff. And I couldn't be influenced by them in any way. And so I don't know if my mom's gotten a hold of me because I've completely gotten rid of the 503-737 number. Is gone. I, deleted that. I went back to just one phone number. I'm like, I don't need 2 phone lines. It's not necessary at this time. So anybody who had that number, it's like, the only people who have the number, my new number now, are the people that are meant to have my new number now. That's it. So maybe you need to change your phone number. Maybe you need to, change your email address. Don't forward things though, because you're just going to bring that shit with you. but only send a mass message to your people. That's what I did. I mass text a bunch of people and said, hey, I changed my number. This is my new number. If you ever need to get a hold of me, or if you want to book a session with me, I'm like, this is it. That's it. I think I have 18 people on my phone. 18. It may even be less than that now. I don't know. So the message from Cyndi Lauper was for us to be ourselves and to live in our truth. But she also wanted me to read the lyrics to her higher self. So the lyrics are, all through the night, I'll be awake and I'll be with you. All through the night, this precious time when time is new. So the reason why I was talking about today is that the new moon is on July 10th or 11th, I guess, wherever you live. I don't know the exact time yet. I'm not going into the future. The only future I'm doing right now is keeping my moon calendar, but I'm not like, oh, it's going to be at this time. Because I'm like, I feel like I was always trying to plan readings or plan sessions or plan things around things. And I'm like, no, I'm really in the flow. Oh my gosh, you guys. Would you come on here? Would you come on here if I let you? We have a grandmother. Hi, grandmother. So the grandmother spider has been coming to me a lot, and I'll put spirit message below. Would you like to go on the card and show people who you are? No, she's right here. You want to be seen? Can you see her? I don't know if you could see her. Hi, grandmother. Hi. Hi, sweetheart. Okay, so, oh, no, I don't want to hurt you. Be careful. So on this new moon, make a promise to yourself. Make some positive changes in your life. Oh, look at that. The butterfly wanted to come in too, right? Because number 5, I'm going to read you what, we're going to go back to the song. But number 5, which is today's a 5 number, is about obstacles, difficulty, conflict, loss, lack of faith, imbalance, and change. See, you're not having faith in yourself and you're not having faith in spirit that there will be a community to show up for you. And if you feel alone right now, that's okay. You're meant to be alone right now. It's time for you to gain that strength from yourself, not from other people. Doing it yourself. You don't need anyone. You just need yourself. Of course we need each other, we need community. But when you're going through a transformative period, reach out to us in your community here, but don't reach out to the people that cannot help you. They don't have the tools. And if you're getting upset with people for not having the tools or not having awoken yet to where you are, then that's your ego wanting them to be where you are. But maybe you need to have division from that person or those people or that situation or that thing, whatever it is for you. You need that division right now, because number 6 is about success and peace, happiness, communication, creativity, harmony restored, new opportunities, hard work paying off after a long hardship, right? Number 5, and recharging our batteries. So when she says, this precious time when time is new, she says, oh, all through the night today, knowing that we feel the same without saying. And then she says, we have no past, we won't reach back, keep with me forward all through the night. And once we start, the meter clicks and it goes running all through the night until it ends. There is no end. There is no end. So even if this lifetime, say for some of you, I'm feeling this, is like your fear is that you will be like, you have a family member that's ill, and if you stop talking to them right now, they may die. That's okay. That happened to me. And last night I had a dream with my stepfather that was so amazing. And I got to tell him how I felt. And I just watching him cry, like, even though I know, I'm starting to feel him, even though I know he knew that in his heart, it's like his soul needed that. His soul needed the recognition that he was a good dad. He may not have been perfect, but he was a great stand-in for my real biological father when I didn't have one. Even though he was alive, he was not present, my biological father. And I call him my 2 dads. And I had that really great moment with him. Trust in yourself and trust with your connection with spirit. It's the 3D. It's from movies and TV shows and all of and funerals, and the way that death has been presented to us is really perverted almost, spirit is saying. It's almost a perverted energy because it's not really ours. It's old. It's outdated. It's not real. It's that reality, but it's not the reality that we live in now. So I am going to read a few more things because I have some affirmations at the end. And if I don't get to the affirmations, I will type them below in the description, okay? But I really want to read the book because the Masquerade had some really great things to say. And this book is beautiful. This deck is amazing. However, I don't believe English is their first language, so I try to translate. If it doesn't come out right, I'll retranslate it, okay? So the moon phase of this is the waning gibbous, okay? And this is also with the 7 stages of death, the dark mirror. And number 15 is bargain, right? Because you're bargaining with spirit. Well, maybe if I go there and blah, blah, blah. Maybe if I do this, blah, blah, blah. Maybe if I change this, I can help them. Maybe. But the truth is, we have free will. And it's not our job to go against someone else's free will. You know what I'm saying? So you can bargain all you want, but spirit is saying the bargaining stage is really just cutting the wound deeper for you and not for them. So this says, why I can't have forever. Oh, what I can't have forever, I will have for a minute. What I can't have for a minute, I will hold to me for 1 second. The visual seed of this card is a man's face, young in the flesh and in posture, with a wide open shirt. Over him appears the most complicated and baroque hat, straight from a Venetian carnival. The sentence is, under the guise of Cupid, I will come to you. Under the guise of a thief, I will fly away. The going dark. There is often guilt in taking the mask of Don Juan or Donna Juana. The seducer is not a master of love, neither of manipulation. He is the master of the ephemeral, oh my gosh, of what is fleeting and brief and transient to the extreme. He is the master of the moment, and as such, he forgot all other kinds of eternity. There is guilt if you care, because you are not building. There is guilt out of loss because you are not treasuring. There is guilt out of indifference because when you don't care, you cheat yourself of meaning and value. Sometimes there is guilt in the selflessness, in the desire itself, in everything leading to pleasure, as if the only pleasure that can be sacred are only those labeled as such. The masquerade is a dance. It is a road that goes in circles and ebbs and flows, and always ends with the first light. Before the time comes, hold it tightly. When the time comes, let it go. Are you ready to let go of your mask? Are you ready to show the world who you really are? Who are you? What triumph of lies are you telling yourself and others so that you can even carry on? So number 1, triumph of lies. The moon phase is also the waxing gibbous, and also the stage is bargaining. If something hurts me, I change myself so it can stop. That's the sentence you tell yourself, right? The visual seed is headless mannequins. I don't know if you guys can see this. I'm going to go. I hope this doesn't cut off because I don't have much time on here. If it does, then you got the message. It says, headless mannequins crowd against each other under a cold neon light. They are dressed in luxurious clothes and pricey accessories. Among them, one has a crowned skull floating where her face was supposed to be. The sentence is, not all that glitters is gold. Emptiness is felt when there is nothing under the dress. That's extreme, isn't it? The Going Dark says, the triumph of lies is about appearance, and appearance is always so important in the world. Day by day, it seems that it's more important now. Can that be a lie too? We seek to be what the world outside desires us to be, and not necessarily society at large. Our family or partners or friends place judgments on what we should be. In the dress we choose, we carve a mask of expectations, behaviors, and values to live by. It offers stability to ourselves and to our relations, as being honest and true to ourselves can be too tiring, too easy to make us hurt. Unfortunately, the relationship with our mask is not as straightforward as it feels. Inside the mask, envy grows, vanity takes root, lack of self-confidence becomes a habit, and it gnaws at us, and it hurts us from the inside. It feels like it's ourselves, but it's not really authentic. It is just a lie we have made out of habit to believe in. When our lies become a gilded cage and our dress become a burden, we should remember that we were born naked. It's interesting. It's on page 14, which is also the number 5. And if you add that to the 1, that's 6. You are holding yourself prisoner. You are holding yourself captive. No more lies to yourself. No more lies to others. No more playing in the victim mode. We don't even realize it because so much, my throat chakra, clear it, get it out. We don't even realize how much languaging that we are putting out into the world and to ourselves that is in a victim mentality. Spirit has been calling my shit out left and right. Same with Edward. He'll say something and I'm like, well, but you could actually. I'm like, that's old programming. And that's all it is. It's just breaking free of old programming. Are you ready to break free of old programming? Your family, your blood and bone, your significant other, your work people, it doesn't matter how much you love them. They are not you. This is not their path. This is your path. And so I'm going to leave you with a few affirmations. I trust that I am exactly where I'm meant to be at this time. I trust that look at that. They're like, let it go. Let it go. Oh, it's 2 cars following each other, right? I trust that I'm exactly where I'm meant to be at this time. I trust that I am exactly where I'm meant to be at this time. And Spirit had me write down underneath trust. Do you see that? Trust. This is the time we have to trust the most. Ourselves, our spirit guides, our angels. No more fucking around. No more excuses. We've run plumb out of them. And you're just going to keep running into the same obstacles. Another one is, I am awakening to my wholeness and love. I am awakening to my wholeness and love. I am awakening to my wholeness and love. I am whole and I am love. I am whole and I am love. Bye-bye, negative energy. We'll see you later. I am whole and I am love. And our last one is, I am here for myself with love and compassion. I am here for myself. Thank you, Fly. See what I mean? I am here for myself with love and compassion. I am here for myself with love and compassion, because the Fly says, reevaluate your thoughts about yourself. You are worth far more than you realize. They even had me underline it. See? You are worth far more than you realize. Love, Fly. So feel free to look up more Fly Spirit Animal Medicine. I'll put it below. Also, the mantras that I just got from us were from a beautiful meditation from this family, Family of Angels on YouTube. I'll put that link below. And any other links that Spirit has me pulled to put below, I will put below. I love you. Spirit loves you. You're not alone. Even when you're alone and you feel the loneliest you've ever felt, you are not alone. Call on your angels. They're there to love you, support you, take care of you. Until then, blessed be. Aho.